Debt collectors. Are you dealing with debt collectors? Well, I'm going this video on how to deal with them and two things you can use to your advantage that will help to, I want to say, combat your fight, get them to stop calling you, one, but also if you can catch them to see if you can catch them in a potential violation. So let's go here. So when a debt collector is trying to call you, here's how this works. And there's laws around debt collection that people don't know about. So 20% of what I do in credit repair is financial literacy. The other 80% is all the laws that people don't know about. So here's the thing. A debt collector buys your debt for pennies on a dollar from the original creditor. And when they call you, you ever notice if you've been there, how they always need you to verify who you are, last word, your name, and then they also tell you that this call is being recorded. Why? Because they buy these charged off accounts in mass, like thousands. The only thing is they didn't buy the signed agreement or the contract you had with the original creditor, which is why the call is recorded and they tell you it's recorded. So this way they can get you to admit to the debt. This way, if you say, screw you guys, I'm not paying this, they can sue you, take you to court, and then say, well, Your Honor, we have the defendant on record saying that this debt is theirs. One thing they don't tell you about. Number two, helping this fight. Under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, debt collectors are supposed to validate that the debt's yours. So a lot of people don't understand is that when they call you, really, if the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act wasn't in place, they could just run up to anybody and say, hey, is last for your account 0567? I think so. Cool. You now owe me this money. So you can press them to validate the debt. You can send out what's known as a debt validation letter, and that's asking for specific items. When you do this, make sure that what you're requesting in the letter is being sent, because what they have done in the past, what they might try to do is pull one over you and say, oh, here are these documents. And then it's like, that's not what you requested. Because you want to look for the chain, I forget what it's called right now, not the chain of command, the chain of communication between them and the original creditor, how they got your stuff. Because what happens is a lot of these debts go to one debt collector, go to another debt collector, get sold to another. So when you use this, it forces them to do the job that they are supposed to do, that they don't do because no one knows these laws. Now, if you want them to stop calling you, it's very simple. But let me say this first. When they do call you, there's no, just a reminder, there is no law that says that you are required to verify anything over the phone with them. There's no law. So if you want them to stop calling you, it's very simple. When they call you and they say, hey, I need to know so and so there, simply ask this question. Say, what is this call in regards to? And they'll keep saying, I need to know that I need to know if I'm speaking with so and so, right? And then keep asking, well, I need to know what this call is in regards to. Keep saying that, and they'll say, well, I need to know that I'm speaking so and so, and then say, hey, well, if you cannot tell me what this call is in regards to, take me off your call list. Again, repeat it. Say, if you can't tell me what this call is in regards to or about, take me off your call list. Remember, the call is recorded, so if they call you again after this, that's a violation. You can sue them for that. And the thing is, some of them might try and press you to find out that it's you, but it's like, no, there's no law, because there's a lot of scams going around, AI scams, whole bunch of stuff. So they don't have to, you don't have to tell them anything. And after say this, you can hang up the phone, or they'll hang up, and that's it. They won't call you anymore. Now, if you're getting text messages from debt collectors, even emails, you can use this in letters. This is a simple phrase you can use, and it does work. If they're texting you, you can say, hey, I refuse to pay this debt, or you could say, I am unable to pay this debt. Why does that work? And it won't trigger anything, because I forget the exact reasoning, but under the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, when you say that, if they keep trying to contact you and collect on it in that way, if I'm not mistaken, a friend of mine does this. I'll get further clarification, but if you, great example, if you text or you send a letter back saying, hey, I refuse to pay this, I refuse to pay this debt, or I am unable to, and they keep trying to send you more stuff to collect on it, that's a violation. They can't do that, which, by the way, no one knows about. Number two, again, no one's going to tell you this stuff, but these are the laws that you have in place to fight back on them, because otherwise, they'll just, if you don't do anything, they can take you to court. If they do, you can still respond to that. But this is what you can use to help in your fight against debt collectors and get back, because they'll just keep hounding. Because at the end of the day, in the world of debt collectors, you're one person out of God knows how many people they're calling to get paid. That's all they care about. And unfortunately, because that's all they care about, they're willing to do anything illegal and shady. In fact, the other thing they want to know is, based on the state you're in, know about the debt collection statute of limitations, which means from the date of delinquency, the last date when it gets charged off and sent to a debt collector, that clock starts ticking when they can collect on it and try to take you to court. Now, depending on your state, it varies by state, so look it up. So know this, because if it's past statute, because if they're trying to collect on debt that is past the statute of limitations, that's illegal. They can be sued for that. And two, sometimes what these companies try to do is they'll try to get you to pay on a debt that's not yours. They'll do that, and people fall for it. Because again, all they care about is getting paid. Because you have to understand, when they buy these accounts, for example, here's a real quick real life example. I've seen a real life example where I don't know if it was one credit card company or like a bunch of them. They had charged off a bunch of credit card accounts that totaled $2 million. Okay, and this is how cheap they bought this for. Is one debt collector bought all those charged off credit card accounts that were valued at total $2 million, bought them at $25,000. That's a huge discount. So basically, they're buying it for pennies. So then when they come to you, this is why they're always able to negotiate, because they bought the shit for cheap. So they can, like, their margin's so high, and you don't know this. And also, too, so let me say this. You don't want to pay those debts because, one, legally you don't owe it. They have to prove it to you. Number two, when you pay these debts, it does not help your credit score whatsoever. I'll link my our video article I did on this on how your score grows. Paying these debts not have your credit score at all whatsoever. I go into more detail on that in that video. It help, and that money does not go to the rich creditor. It goes to the debt collector, because remember, they bought the debt, they own it now. It's their property. So, easy tips. Hope this helps. Any questions? Comment below, right below. And yeah, and like further help with this, book a call with me. Link is here. And also too, as well, if you're running a business and you're trying to grow, you're trying to get your credit improved, you want to make more money, things aren't easy, there is a link to a book that I highly recommend. A video will play for this after this called Your Wish is Your Command. I highly suggest you get this book. It changed my life. It gives you the, how do I say this? The formula for success that doesn't fail. All right, I'll leave it at that. Watch the video. Appreciate you guys. Comment below any questions. Book a call if you want. Get the book. Peace.
My income doubled.
I manifested the home of my dreams.
I created my husband by design.
I was able to retire at the age of 31.
I went from 5K on my bank account to 8 million.
It's called Your Wish is Your Command, how to manifest your desires. In the Alps, you invited a few people to come in for a 2-day live event where I would teach them the secrets that I had learned, and I applied it, and it made me millions of dollars before I was 18, and I applied it and made billions over the next few years. For 2 days, I taught this small group of people. Now, they paid $10,000 per person for 2 days to come to learn the secret behind the secret, or the missing key. This program virtually teaches people what Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison discovered. And they discovered, and people in the secret societies knew, that the brain is actually a transmitter and receiver of frequency. What the training is, it trains the brain how to transmit the right frequency. So if you want a new car, if you want a better job, if you want to make more money, if you want to be happier, if you want to lose weight, if you want better health, if you want to be lucky, if you want to have a different home, if you want a better relationship with your kids, or you want a lover in your life, whatever you want in your life, if you look at your life and say, there are things in my life I don't like, I want to change them. What is it that you change it to? So once you establish that, what this training does, your wish is now your command. I teach you how to command your wish and turn it into reality.
I bought a Porsche. I manifested a Rolex.
My life is anger. I am totally unrecognizable to who I was 4 years ago.
You've been asking for something, it's presented itself to you, but now it's up to you to take action and utilize it.